Thanks, Anna. Thanks for having me.
So can you tell us how did you get into crypto industry? Which year was it?
It was early 2013, before Ethereum existed. A friend told me about Bitcoin, and actually in 2012, I thought it was a scam. And then another friend that's very smart told me about it too. I was like, the least I could do is look into it. So I dove into it and really I fell in love and got down the rabbit hole. So here I am, like almost 10 years later. Yeah.
So in which other projects were you involved before starting Balancer?
That's a good question. So I actually was also fell in love with Ethereum because I had like this idea of having a stablecoin because Bitcoin was so volatile and it was preventing mass adoption. So I was thinking of like something that could enable stablecoins in crypto. And then Ethereum with smart contracts came around. And to me, it was the answer to the problem of stablecoins. So I got involved very early on with the MakerDAO project and contributed and participated. So that was my first project in Ethereum. And then, Balancer came about, early 2018, the idea, and then we built everything in the past 2 years, yeah.
So what problem did you see so that you decided to start the Balancer?
Good question. So I had already a small portfolio like ETH, and then I had DAI, I had MKR, and I thought to myself, like, can't I have like a tool that does automatic rebalancing for those tokens so that I know I'm always 40% exposed to MKR and I don't know, like 30-30. And it was the kind of the beginning of the idea of Balancer, like having to have this auto rebalancing portfolio or protocol that allows you to have an auto rebalancing portfolio. And that's how it all began. So it was kind of solving a problem that I had.
Nice. So like how many pools do you support now? And which pools?
Oh, we have thousands of pools. We have many different types of pools, like weighted pools that have like 80% of one token, 20% of another token, 50-50, pools with many tokens. We have stable pools of tokens that are similar, like different flavors of Bitcoin wrapped on the Ethereum blockchain. We have boosted pools that enable trades, but at the same time, most of the assets in the pool are actually lent to Aave. So you have not only swap fees, but also yield from those lending protocols. We have managed pools that allow you to kind of do portfolio management according to some automated rules that you want. And there's also other protocols building on top of Balancer that have their own types of pools, like Sense, like Element Finance, and many others. So we're kind of, I like to say that the success of Balancer is the success of the protocols that are built on top of Balancer. So we really want to be infrastructure and not like an end user application.
Did you have pools with Terra Luna?
No.
You were lucky.
We were lucky, yeah. Also no UST. Luckily we didn't have any exposure to UST, but all users using Balancer and DeFi and Ethereum should know that everything that they invest or they put in protocols, like there is risk, right, associated to it. So luckily no one in Balancer kind of felt the pain that I know of. Maybe there's like some small pool, but it was, it wasn't something that was relevant.
And today you as well announced the grant program for those who will build on Balancer. So can you tell more about this?
Yes, of course. So we have an ecosystem fund with a lot of money, and we want people to spend more time looking at Balancer, building on Balancer. We did like a very kind of large effort to make Balancer the place for you to create your AMM, your programmable liquidity solution, and we actually want to pay you with grants and help you with our technical team, really like do all we can for you to build on top of Balancer. So you have to apply for a grant up to 75K USD. We also have some examples of teams that had grants and then got funding from VCs and really like had very nice fundraising rounds. So yeah, a grant could just be the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey with us.
So what type of projects have been built on the top of Balancer?
I love like the fixed rate ones, like Element Finance was like the pioneer, then Tempest and Sense as well, building very interesting fixed rate protocols. We have protocols that use Balancer pools for their inner workings of their protocols. Like Aave is a good example. They use a balancer 80-20 pool for their safety module. So any problem that Aave has, there's like this insurance fund, and instead of having just Aave there locked, they have an 80-20 token of Aave and ETH. So anyone contributing to that fund is actually contributing to the liquidity of Aave. So this is something that I love. Like instead of locking your token, you lock liquidity. So you're actually actively providing liquidity. This is just one of the examples.
And during your presentation, you mentioned as well time-weighted AMMs. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, that's a very good example as well, something innovative. T1s are time-weighted average market makers. The idea is that if you have a very large order, you want to sell $100 million of ETH or buy $100 million of ETH, you don't want to do that on AMMs at once because the price impact would be very large. You could break this up into very small transactions, but that's like very painful and tiresome, and it costs a lot of gas. So T1s are a way for you to have very large positions or trades that happen over like a month or any period of time without recurring interaction on chain. So you don't need to spend gas every time to do transactions. It just says, I want to sell 100 million ETH or $100 million worth of ETH or buy, and this just happens like magically without you having price impact.
Yeah, this is a great solution. And how do you see current developments in DeFi?
I'm very bullish. I think Ethereum is gonna go to the moon because it's just magical. Like it's the future of money and finances, making it that like more accessible and inclusive and transparent. So I'm a very, very mega bullish Ethereum fan. I also think DeFi had its moment in DeFi summer 2 years ago. It's a bit kind of in a low moment, but I think real teams building real infrastructure, useful things are going to be around for a long time and will kind of rebound and still gather a lot of attention. I think there's many opportunities for real world assets to be using DeFi. There's like lots of applications around identity, around like social, like philanthropy that Vitalik talks a lot about. So I'm very bullish still, even in a bear market. I think bear markets are the best moments for like real, good, useful applications to be built.
Yeah, that's true. And how long will this bear market last, in your opinion?
Well,
and what may be the catalyst for the next bull run?
So I think that we saw the bottom already. ETH at like low 900s. I think that was the bottom. We're now at 1600. Like it was an awesome week, over 50%. I would bet that the bottom is over. A lot of people think that the macro environment is still getting worse, and I agree. But on the other side, there's the merge approaching. ETH is going to be the only deflationary token like ever or around. There's like some people that say that they have it, but like a real one is going to be the first one. So I think people just realize that ETH is so scarce and it's going to be still like the base for like the financial world of the future. So I don't know about the other tokens, but I think Ethereum is like the bear market lasted just like a month or so, and now we're in for the could be a slow bull market, but it's going to go up a lot, in my opinion. No financial advice, of course.
Yeah, everybody is pumping Ethereum at this conference.
I think we're all fans, and we like it's just inevitable. It's something that is hard to replicate. It's hard to compete. There's so many talented people working on Ethereum. There's so many protocols. It's so vibrant. There's so much like talent and people. Like, yeah, it's just to me inevitable that will be a big success and get more and more scarce. So yeah.
The biggest ecosystem. And can you share some upcoming plans for Balancer?
Coming stuff or?
Yeah, like any new partnerships in line.
Right. So we're working on managed pools, so a very easy way for protocols, DAOs to manage their funds, and this is like going to be a breakthrough. We're working on making Balancer easier to use. So if you tried to use Balancer in the past and you thought, oh, this is too challenging, it's nothing for me, come back and talk to us, because we're making things easier and easier to use, and that's the main goal for us this year, like to make Balancer easier to use.
Okay, great. Yeah. Hope we'll see some more updates from you. Thank you for interesting conversation and sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you, Anna. Pleasure to be here. Thanks.